Thank you for taking the time to join our NetSuite demo for industrial supply companies. We have a jam-packed agenda, so we're going to go ahead and jump right in. Of course, the demo is going to be the meat of the conversation today, and I think a lot of light bulbs really go off when our customers see how NetSuite work for industrial supply companies. But before we get into the demo, I'm going to walk through an introduction of NetSuite and the Suite Success methodology. I'll then go ahead and pass it over to Wayne for the demonstration. My name is Juanita Potgieter and I head up marketing at Verde. Should you want to have a follow-up conversation based on what you see today, or if you're interested in learning more about NetSuite, please reach out to our sales team who will be happy to walk you through the solution and help you determine the fit and the timeline that would suit your business. When selecting a business management tool like NetSuite, we always encourage our prospective clients to consider the company they are purchasing from. Does the company that's going to be the backbone of your business have the same growth goals as you do? Is the company going to still be around 5 years from now, 10 years from now, 20 years from now? And is their product going to still be supported, up to date, and competitive with the market? That's the very reason why Verde partnered with NetSuite. NetSuite was acquired by Oracle a few years ago, and NetSuite empowers smaller but growing companies like yours to help them scale. Traditionally, Oracle worked with large corporations, but they saw a gap in the marketplace for smaller but growing companies that needed something more robust than an accounting solution, but weren't ready for something as complex as an Oracle application. And that's where NetSuite really fits into the market and provides that launching pad for companies to get on something with more flexibility and automation, but is still designed for companies of your size so that it's not overkill on functionality. The biggest benefit for your team is that Oracle pours funding into the NetSuite product so you can be confident that they have research teams ensuring that the product stays competitive with the market and is being updated constantly and is not going anywhere. Interesting to note that NetSuite is the fastest growing part of Oracle, and a lot of that growth has to do with how successful NetSuite has been in the emerging market space. NetSuite has over 10,000 employees globally who are solely focused on NetSuite and over 21,000 customers that are all running on the same version of NetSuite. Now, Suite Success is the go-to market strategy and implementation strategy that is designed and built based on over 20 years of experience in the market and the 21,000 customers that are on NetSuite. Traditionally, implementation started from ground zero and were worked up to a totally custom-built solution. This was oftentimes very expensive with long implementation times, and because it's custom, it decreases the user adoption rate. However, through experience in implementing and feedback from customers, NetSuite found that the distributors were having processes that were pretty well defined, and they then analyzed those processes of the companies that were already running on NetSuite, and thus built the Suite Success methodology around those processes to deliver a solution that is out of the box designed for your industry and give you that functionality that you'll be needing on day one. We like to say the Suite Success methodology gets you about 70% of the way there out of the box. And all we have to do is focus on that area of your business that might be a little bit more unique or might need a little bit more attention to deliver what you're looking for. Having this out-of-the-box solution decreases implementation time and decreases cost. It increases the user adoption rate and increases the return on investment. Everything that you see in the demo that is coming up here shortly is the Suite Success methodology in action. It's going to be out-of-the-box functionality. Nothing that you see is customized. It's all part of the product that you would have access to on day one. I'm going to turn the demo over to my colleague Wayne so that he can give you that full 360 of what NetSuite looks like for a wholesaler supplier like you.
Hello everyone, my name is Wayne and I'm the National Sales Manager at Verde and very passionate about NetSuite. Today I'll be demonstrating NetSuite's pre-configured suite success solution that's built for industrial supply companies. In this demo, you'll see how NetSuite automates data across transactions, improves collaboration between departments, and delivers real-time business intelligence on a flexible, true cloud platform. We're currently looking at a NetSuite home dashboard. I'm logged in using Firefox. However, NetSuite is browser agnostic, so regardless of your browser preference, as long as you have an internet connection, you'll be able to access your data in the system. NetSuite is a role-based system. Starting off in a sales rep role, you'll notice that my dashboard comes pre-configured with a significant amount of content. In NetSuite, we use roles and permissions to define what information users connect us to within the system. You might not want sales reps creating journal entries or your warehouse to pull income statements and balance sheets. We've provided a substantial starting point and then flexibility to personalize and define internal controls to meet your business's needs. KPIs, reports, charts, and graphs deliver information specifically tailored to my role as a sales rep, so I can focus on generating new leads, new customers, and converting quotes in the sales orders to increase revenue. These KPIs on my dashboard update in real time whenever I enter new leads or generate new sales with my customers. NetSuite uses a unified database model, so every transaction that enters the system posts to a single unified general ledger, providing a single source of truth and real-time data across the entire organization. One key component to my dashboard is my reminders portlet. We deliver pre-configured reminders tailored to each role, and from there, users have the ability to create their own personalized reminders to help them keep on task. NetSuite customers quickly realize that they no longer are drowning in emails or missing critical internal communication. In fact, they're freeing up more time to proactively manage those day-to-day tasks while also improving employee accountability. For today's webinar, I've prepared a NetSuite demo environment reflecting an industrial supply company whose customers are primarily retailers. As a sales rep, you can imagine we like to do quarterly check-ins with our top customers. However, before making that call, I may need some additional context for each customer account. From my dashboard, I can utilize the global search bar. This is a powerful navigation tool to quickly access any record, report, or transaction within the system. Immediately upon typing the customer name, I can see all of the resulting customers, transactions, contacts, and even pending tasks, and pinpoint the record or report that I want to access. This means spending less time navigating your CRM accounting and inventory management systems, and more time executing mission-critical tasks. Now we're on the customer record, which serves as a single source of truth for each of our customers. Here, we're capturing basic contact information as well as the sales rep in the lead source. Tied to this customer, I can see this lead was originally sourced from a trade show. This contact information was likely pulled into NetSuite through one of our online lead forms. This lead could have also been automatically routed and assigned to the sales rep using predefined sales rules and territories. As part of the sales team, I can leverage this automation to improve sales efficiency and reporting. I can also measure and compare the ROI of marketing initiatives to prioritize which events to replicate in the future and which ones to eliminate. In the Communications subtab, I can track all of our latest engagements with Smith Supplies, from logging phone calls to assigning tasks. And within NetSuite, a user can create a task and then push it into another user's dashboard via the Reminders portlet to improve sales collaboration. NetSuite can also automate emails to customers with each transaction, and all of that communication is stored directly on the customer record, so we can retain that historical context for future reference. Same goes for transactions. NetSuite natively integrates your front-end CRM with your back-end ERP. So we're able to track every open and historical transaction with Smith Supplies in real time as those transactions are recorded in the system. I'm always one click away from accessing those transactions directly, whether it be a quote, invoice, or payment. I also have specific visibility into the customer's item purchase history. Here I have a complete summary of each item sold, total quantity sold, and last purchase date throughout the entire life cycle of the customer. This detailed insight into the customer purchasing history gives me the information that I need to drive new upsell opportunities. If I recognize a popular item hasn't been purchased in a while, I might incentivize the sale by offering a discount. Now I have a complete picture of my relationship with Smith Supplies, and I give them a call. Complete my quarterly check-in. On my call, I discover that Smith Supplies would like a quote for our mini air compressor. I can generate this quote directly from the customer record. The quote transaction form comes pre-built with Suite Success. You may notice that some of these fields are required and some of these fields are not editable. This is all being driven by my default customer form. This controls which fields appear, which fields are required, and which fields can be edited. NetSuite provides the flexibility to create multiple forms for each transaction, add custom fields, and set default form preferences in order to improve user adoption and make the system intuitive for employees. From here, I can specify my warehouse location and also add a title. So I can quickly navigate to this quote later using a global search. And then we can add our item, our mini compressor. As I do, I have real-time visibility into what's on hand in my warehouse location, as well as what's available to sell, ensuring that I'm not overcommitting and under-delivering on expectations with my customers. I can add the item quantity and the system will auto-populate pricing for this item. I can then add a 10% discount from a preset drop-down list. Users can also create their own pricing list and even configure customer-specific pricing to incentivize sales while also protecting gross profit margins. We can estimate our shipping directly from the quotes as well. NetSuite has native integrations with certain shipping companies, so our customers can calculate real-time shipping rates without having to navigate to an external website. And those shipping costs will feed directly into the pricing for a quote. Now I can save and record this quote into the system and automatically email a copy of the quote to the customer. Now we can see that our quote status has been updated to open. Smith Supplies reviews this quote and called us back the next day to place an order. With just one click, I can convert this quote to a sales order, and you'll notice that all of our pricing information has been automatically carried into our sales order from the quote without requiring any manual data entry, making this quote to sales order conversion scalable and less prone to human error. I can save the sales order and again could automate an email copy to my customer confirming that the order has been received. Now our sales order will move to pending fulfillment status, but in the background our warehouse is being automatically notified that there's a new order that needs to be fulfilled. From the sales role, I had full visibility into the complete historical context of my customer and generated a tailored quote based on their purchasing history. I was able to immediately convert that quote to a sales order with just a single click, bringing all critical data along with it, meaning I can spend less time manually entering data and more time engaging with customers to increase sales. Next, I'm going to move into the warehouse role to fulfill this sales order and confirm the shipment with our customer, Smith Supplies. As I change roles, my dashboard is now tailored to the deliverables of the warehouse manager. I have KPIs that are tied to inventory and fulfillment, and these metrics are updated in real time as inventory flows in and out of our warehouse locations. I also have visibility into our current inventory positions on some of our most popular items. My reminders portlet alerts me that I have new orders to fulfill. This reminder increases in real time as sales reps enter new orders into the system, so I can be proactive and ensure that no orders are slipping through the cracks. Now I can see all of our open sales orders, including that sale order we just created for Smith Supplies. From here, we have the flexibility to filter these sales orders by location, mark these orders as fulfilled in bulk, or we can fulfill a specific sales order like the one we just placed for Smith Supplies. The system auto-generates an item fulfillment record traced back to the original sales order. And we contract fulfillment either as a 3-step pick, pack, and ship process or a single step for shipping. Since we're using integrated shipping, I can save and print a shipping label directly within NetSuite. No need to log into the carrier's website. We're able to print our shipping label directly from NetSuite, place it on a box, and ship it out to our customer. In the system, the order has now been marked as shipped, and with that integrated shipping, we could have automated an email to our customer confirming this shipment along with the tracking information to keep them engaged throughout the sales cycle. We can also see that our Smith Supplies sales order has fallen off of our orders to fulfill screen immediately. From the warehouse role, sales orders automatically feed into my reminders portlet in real time. This improves collaboration and efficiency while supporting our customers. We saw the scalability and the power to bulk fulfill orders and print shipping labels directly within NetSuite. This means handling more transactions without the need to hire additional headcount in the warehouse. Next, let's switch to the accounts receivable role to invoice the sales order, manage my receivables, and ultimately accept a payment from our customer, Smith Supplies. As I move into our accounts receivable role, the content on my dashboard is now focused on managing receivables, payables, and monitoring any bank account balances. In my reminders portlet, I can see that I have a new sales order to invoice, similar to the fulfillment process. I can now view all of the open sales orders pending billing, including our sales order with Smith Supplies. Just as we saw in fulfilling the order, I have the flexibility to generate invoices in bulk or for specific sales orders that have been fulfilled. As I generate this invoice, there is no need to manually re-enter any data. All of the information from the sales order is going to be auto-populated onto the invoice, including the due date for the invoice, which is being automated based on the terms that I've defaulted with the customer. I can click Save and automate the delivery of this invoice to my customer, alerting them that they have a new payment due. Now, it's a bit of a waiting game for our customer to pay us, but NetSuite provides me with tools to stay on top of my receivables and ensure that nothing slips through the cracks. With the AR aging summary, I can track all open invoices with my customers in real time to improve cash flow and minimize bad debt. I can see that we have an open balance with Smith Supplies. Here I can do any and all open invoices totaling that balance, including the invoice we've just created. From this report, I can drill all the way down into the transaction level. Now, after a few weeks, we get a check in the mail covering the balance for this invoice. Now, it's just one click. I can accept a customer payment in the system. NetSuite is going to apply this payment against the invoice by default, or we could have accepted a larger payment and applied it to other outstanding balances with our customer Smith Supplies. We can also record the payment method. Since we've received a check, we can record that check number here. We can now save this payment transaction and simultaneously send a message to our customer thanking them for the payment. With all posting transactions, NetSuite is automating journal entries to our unified general ledger. So in real time, we can see that impact on our GL. We can see that this payment debited our checking account and credited our accounts receivables. Now users can also configure item and customer records to control which accounts transactions post to. If I refresh my AR aging summary, the invoice for which we just accepted payment has fallen off of our report in real time, and I know that a payment has been collected from Smith Supplies, meaning I can focus on the next open receivable. We just saw here that NetSuite automated transactions from sales to the warehouse and ultimately accounting without requiring any manual intervention, improving transactional efficiency and reducing mistakes from manually rekeying data. Now, as an executive, I need to generate reports to understand how the business is trending and also make well-informed decisions. From the executive role, I can view high-level KPIs tied to revenue and expenses, as well as trim graphs to ensure that there are no surprises when it comes to the health of my business. Using my KPI portlet, I can quickly spot trends within the business and drill into these live numbers to access my financial statement for better insight. Now I'm viewing my income statement and all of my account balances are up to date as the latest transactions are entered into the system. I also control how I view this income statement, like choosing the time horizon, as well as my subsidiary context. Since NetSuite uses a natural chart of account structure, we treat subsidiaries at the segment of our chart of accounts. Financial reports are now in a constant state of consolidation, and I can easily filter reports to see this information by subsidiary. Many businesses allocate extensive labor resources and hours to manually consolidating reports, but now NetSuite is doing the heavy lifting for us, freeing up employees to focus on value-add activities, all while providing real-time data for analysis. Now, in the industrial supply space, I often need visibility into how my product lines are performing for the current period. I can slice and dice this income statement to gain that level of insight with just a few clicks of my mouse. Now, I can see revenue and expenses broken out across each of my product lines, and I have meaningful data to make strategic decisions. For instance, I can see that our air compressor products are driving strong revenue, but generating negative gross profits. With this information, I know we probably have room to raise prices and improve our profit margins. All of my reports in NetSuite can easily be exported into Excel, Word, converted to PDF, and all these reports can be emailed directly from within NetSuite. I could even set a schedule to automate the delivery of these reports to key stakeholders outside of the system, say like members of the board, ensuring they're always up to date on the current state of the business. As we saw with AR aging summary, these reports are completely drillable all the way down to that transaction level. Here I can view all of the transactions driving revenue for my air compressor power time, and I'm always just one click away from accessing the source transaction detail. Now that you've had a taste of NetSuite's flexible reporting, let's see how we can leverage that unified database to generate powerful queries and gain deeper insight to better manage the business. From my dashboard, I can utilize my reminders portlet to check real-time data on important metrics, such as late ship orders to my customers. Rather than waiting to receive a call from an upset customer regarding an order that was shipped late, I can leverage Save Search to monitor my sales orders where our actual ship date exceeded the expected ship date. I can use formula sorting in highlighting rules to ascertain the severity of the late shipment issue. I need to understand what's causing these orders to be fulfilled beyond that expected ship date in order to resolve the issue. By simply editing my search, I am able to pull in additional data to provide context and clarity as I investigate the late shift orders. Bringing in additional data such as my warehouse location into my existing search not only allows me to see where each order is being fulfilled, but also facilitates the identification and elimination of any operational inefficiencies. With this enhanced visibility, I can see that the majority of relationship orders are being fulfilled at a specific warehouse. Now I can target inefficiencies or potentially assign additional resources at that location to improve performance and keep our customers happy. As you can see, NetSuite point-and-click functionality eliminates the need for extensive programming knowledge or hiring outside consultants, thus providing full self-service reporting capabilities. Before I divert critical resource to this warehouse, I want to understand if these late shift orders could be tied to an underlying vendor issue. Inbound shipping delays from our suppliers are not only frustrating, but they can cripple our warehouse efficiency before we even touch the product. Thankfully, NetSuite provides the procurement team with an out-of-the-box tool and functionality to evaluate vendor performance and effectively manage our inventory, strengthening relationships with our suppliers and mitigating potential issues in the future. As the purchasing manager, my dashboard is focused on driving down procurement costs and managing our inventory. I can easily view vendor records, analyze supplier performance, and make strategic sourcing decisions based on the actionable insights from the system. Using global search, I can quickly navigate to a vendor record of a supplier that I know we've had issues with. Just like our customer records, our vendor records serve as that single source of truth for all critical information on the purchasing side. I can leverage the Purchase History subtab, which provides a summarized view of all open and historical transactions with this vendor. My Vendor 360 subtab provides context and visibility with a vendor scorecard summarizing key metrics of our relationship with this vendor, including what percentage of purchase orders have been received on time. I can even view any open late purchase orders with my vendor, holding them accountable when they don't meet delivery dates, and proactively communicating any potential downstream disruption to our team internally. And finally, I can pull all items that are being sourced by this vendor. Here we can see that we have a history of sourcing our mini compressor with ACOM Business Solutions. Now, since this is a popular item and we've had so many issues with this vendor, it might be time to source our inventory from a less risky supplier for the better reputation of on-time delivery. I can easily manage all elements and attributes of our mini air compressor directly on the item record. The item master record houses basic item information such as name and number, the units of measure that this item transacts in, and even an item image that can be mapped to one of our online marketplaces. And we can see aggregated financials such as average cost of this item and how that matches against our last purchase price. As we scroll down, we can see any warehouse locations that are currently stocking our mini air compressor. Not only can we view inventory levels, but we can configure reorder points and preferred stock levels per location. So when inventory stock levels dip below a reorder point, next we will auto-generate a reminder to replenish our inventory back to our preferred stock levels. I can also view and manage all vendors that are qualified to support this item. I see that we have an alternate sourcing option for our mini air compressor from another vendor, Core4 Solutions. Despite slightly less favorable pricing, I have a stronger relationship with this vendor, and I know they have an impeccable track record of on-time deliveries. I can edit this item record and select Core4 Solutions as my preferred vendor moving forward. Now let's see how the adjustments we've made will positively impact our downstream activities as we replenish our inventory. From my reminders portlet, I can see that I have new items to order. This brings me to a list of all my items that have dipped below the reorder point and need to be replenished. I can apply filters like location and vendor and see that the mini air compressor is now showing with the new preferred vendor for 4 solutions along with the respective purchase rate. Based on my current inventory levels and taking into account any product currently inbound on order to the warehouse, the system is recommending a replacement quantity to restore inventory levels back to their preferred stock levels. Now I can apply a calculated approach to our replenishment strategy in order to minimize customer back orders without tying up critical cash on the warehouse shelf. To recap today's demo, we saw how NetSuite users leverage centralized data to seamlessly execute transactions across the organization. In the sales role, I was able to quickly generate a quote for customer Smith Supplies. From there, with one click, I converted that quote to a sales order, pushing all critical sales data to the warehouse for fulfillment, and ultimately to our accounting team for invoicing and payment collection. NetSuite empowers businesses to scale by automating the flow of transaction data, reducing the risk of human error from manually keying in information at a step, and mitigating the business costs from executing on inaccurate data. Users are transacting in a single unified database. Thus, NetSuite delivers a single source of truth across the organization and real-time information to generate actionable reporting needed to drive strategic business performance. That concludes today's demonstration. Thank you for tuning in to see how NetSuite empowers organizations to scale operations and extend their reach in the global marketplace.
All right, everyone. So that brings us to our Q&A portion of today's webinar. And if you have any questions, please feel free to send those in using the chat function. It does look like we already have a few in the queue. So the first question is, can NetSuite calculate landed costs?
Yep, the answer is yes. So NetSuite can natively do this, and a lot of our customers love this because they're typically either doing this manually today or in a spreadsheet. To be fair, a lot of them aren't doing it at all, which gives them an inaccurate representation of their inventory profitability.
All right, another question. Does NetSuite support transacting in multiple currencies?
Again, answer is yes. NetSuite has native integrations with partners that push updated exchange rates into your NetSuite instance daily. Our system is designed to support international transactions for both sales and purchasing activities.
Okay, we've got another one. Can NetSuite track light manufacturing processes?
Absolutely. So we do have a work orders and assemblies module that contract those light manufacturing activities. If that's a key requirement for going live with your NetSuite ERP, please be sure to clarify that with me or the team.
And with that, I'm going to wrap up today's webinar and demo. If you have any further questions or something that we did not address in today's call, please reach out to us at sales@verde.co.nz, and we would be happy to have a conversation with you to find out how we can help you with your business and scaling up with NetSuite. Thank you for attending today's demo and have a great rest of the day.